Hello everybody, this is Will Robson here. You can check out my work at facebook.com/RobsonInk, and I'm just going to do a bit of a video series just showing me inking a comic book page. So this book right here is a book called Meta Rising, and I will put more information below about that book. There isn't anything you can go to check it out right now because it's in its very early days, but there'll be a Kickstarter for it and stuff. But it's a cool book, and I get to draw superheroes and stuff, which is really fun. So here I'm doing what I talked about on my other videos with Ghost Rider and Green Goblin, where I'm sort of just doing everything at once instead of doing things in steps, because by that I mean, and this is in terms of inking, instead of me sort of laying down sort of basic lines first and then doing line weights and then doing shadows and then doing rendering, I'm doing everything at once because it just keeps me sort of fresh and occupied and wanting to do more. And what I love about digital inking is that I always feel like I'm doodling, essentially, because I can always just erase it any time I like, and if something doesn't work, I can fix it. This panel took... sorry, excuse me. This panel took me 2 hours to do, which is far too long for one comic book panel, and I got really carried away with it. But actually, to be fair, I do, at the end of this video, go a bit into the other panel. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the complete... this whole page be completed through a couple of videos, and I assume that will probably be about maybe 5 videos in total. So this is the hero right here. He's just been kicked into the trash in an alleyway, and sort of I'm really trying out my newly learned rendering, which I'm absolutely loving to do, and it's sort of, obviously you can really cover up bad art with some rendering, which is never a bad thing. So all of these little lines, I've said this in my other videos, they basically just wrap around the form that I'm drawing. So for instance, his arm there, since it's a sort of tube, I'm making those lines wrap around a tube, and all of his cape, I'm just thinking about the shape of it there. So now I'm filling in everything blue, and I just filled it in white, and that was on a separate layer below. And the reason I did that is because now I can just draw casually behind him, and I won't be able to draw over anything. So that layer of white is in front of the layer that I'm drawing now, so that no lines blend into each other. And then when I'm done, I always just merge those layers together. I always find that really helps me. So the light source here, I sort of messed it up when I first started him. I think I just fixed it there. It's supposed to be by his side. And it's from this fire that's going on. There's a couple of hobos having a big fire. The only problem is that I eventually make this alleyway a bit too narrow. See, I was trying to add fire there, but with the forced perspective, it should be fine. You also got to think about how long is somebody going to be looking at this comic book panel. There's only a little bit of dialogue in this panel. You know, unless you're trying to study something or really look at someone's art, you don't spend much time looking at a comic panel. That's why stuff like this, these background people. A problem with working digitally is you might just zoom in really far on those people and add so much detail that by the time you see it in print, you can't make out any of that detail because you didn't realize that what you were putting so much detail into is only about 1 inch wide. So you always have to keep conscious of how thick or how zoomed in you are on the work that you're doing. So again, I made a separate layer below, and I'm filling it with blue, and then I fill it with white, so now I can do the background. So I'm going to chuck in perspective ruler here, and I would like to put my grid lines on my perspective rulers because it just makes me see everything a lot better. Without those grid lines in there, I don't know what to do. So what I do is I go up to the arrow icon, and I right click on where the perspective is going, and there's an option. I don't remember exactly what it is, but you can go into the options and you can click on show grid lines, and you can choose the color that you wanted them, and it does that. So here I'm trying to put some spotlights in because of this fire that's in this alleyway, and I mean, again, you'll see I made this panel far too dark, but at the same time it is nighttime, so I think I can get away with a lot of it. And I realized I need to, I've just learned how to render people, so I'm still practicing there, but I need to spend some serious time studying how to render backgrounds, because I am just struggling to make good looking backgrounds that fit in well with my characters, because it's pretty blatantly obvious. You can see what I've spent more of my time learning than what I have spent not spending my time learning. That sentence didn't make any sense, but you know what I was trying to say there. I need to spend more time drawing backgrounds. I remember there's that Fat Man on Batman by Kevin Smith with Greg Capullo, and someone talking to him saying, you know, you got to put all your efforts into every part of the art. You know, sure, you can start by learning how to draw cool superheroes and big flowing capes and all the fun stuff, but eventually you got to realize that you need to learn how to draw everything in order to draw comics, and you have to be able to draw them nicely. Like for instance, that lamppost back there, that could have been better. Again, it's going to be very small on the page, but at the same time, a little bit of quality goes a long way. So here, this is supposed to be a rough part of London. That's what it says in the script. So I added some cracked window there and some boarded up window. And again, these bricks, I'm drawing them in the perspective ruler, and I'm not happy with them because they look too perfect. So what I think I'll do next time is I'll just draw a really quick grid of bricks, and then I'll turn off the perspective ruler and I'll draw it that way. And hopefully that should be a bit more organic. I can sort of move the bricks around a bit and make them look a bit cooler. So I think, is that panel done? I think it is. Yeah, so I moved on to this one. And this is sped up 2000%, by the way. So this is, how long is this video? 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So essentially 7 minutes is essentially 2 hours of work. And this is supposed to be him kicking open the door here. Oh, I hate that fist. I think I crossed it out as well at one point. I need to go back and fix that fist. Again, these videos are great for me to watch back because it shows me everything I need to work on. And I sort of, the client wanted sort of his head to be completely blacked out from a light from behind, which I thought was cool because it makes it look really sort of dynamic. And in the bottom pose he looks a bit more of a wimp because he realized he just kicked the door open into a place full of thugs. Here's a failed perspective ruler. I couldn't figure out the exact perspective I wanted, so I ended up just using the curve tool to sort of chuck it in there, and then that looks fine. I haven't rendered him yet, so that's the next thing I'll be doing. Anyway, that's the end of the video, so thanks for watching, guys, and get ready for part 2. Okay, remember, check out my work at facebook.com/robson Inc. Alright, bye.